Hello and welcome. I'm here tonight to discuss something that I think needs to be discussed. And if you've seen the top here, you know that I'm talking about the movie that was just released this weekend, The Justice League. And I think the reason that I felt so compelled to come and share my thoughts was because of all the negative reviews that I have read before I saw it. And if you're someone who could be influenced by negative reviews, it's possible that you would end up not seeing the movie because people are obnoxiously negative. For example, I read a review that actually called the movie a heaping pile of garbage. I have seen some terrible movies, as have we all, and it takes a lot for me to not like a movie, but I've never walked away from a movie going, that was a heaping pile of garbage. The closest I feel like I've ever come to thinking that was when I saw last year a movie called Dirty Grandpa, which starred Zac Efron and Robert De Niro, which normally sounds like, this could be a good movie. Except, I saw it in advanced screening, and people were walking out of the advanced screening. That's how bad it was. The reason I stayed through the whole thing was because I thought that it would redeem itself. At some point, I believed that it would wrap it up and it would be great. But even then, when I walked out, I did not think to myself, this was a heaping pile of garbage. I mean, to be fair, I don't ever think that a movie with Wonder Woman in it could ever be described as a heaping pile of garbage. But I digress. So, about the movie. So, just for reference, this is coming from someone who is a huge lover of Marvel films. I love the Avengers of all the characters. Thor is my favorite superhero. And of course, 2 weeks ago, I was seeing Thor. Loved it. Thought it was amazing and beautiful and just perfect. So, I am a huge fan of comic movies. I will say I'm not a comic expert. I'm coming from it from a point of view of someone who enjoys the comics and but isn't an expert, but really loves the movies and enjoys reading the comics. So, with that being said, what did I like about it? What were the pros? Actually, maybe we should start with cons, because let's get them out of the way. Because I'm not a negative critic, and I'm not critiquing. I mean, I can't even imagine living a life where I make money off of criticizing and pulling apart movies. I enjoy them too much. Anyway, so, cons. This is probably something you may have heard in other places too, but there was a lot of CGI, like a lot of CGI. And to be fair, okay, I know that they're creating entities that don't exist, so you're going to have a lot of, it helps to have CGI. I can't imagine what the CGI budget was for this movie because it was everywhere. It was everywhere. So there was a lot. There was a lot. And at moments, you could notice it. But I was with someone who noticed it way more than I did. I don't really notice CGI as much. But yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot. But it does make the movie pretty. So, anyway. And something I saw in other reviews, and I kind of agree with, was it might have been nice to have everyone have their individual movies, at least one individual movie before the Marvel, I've got Marvel in the brain now, before the Justice League came out, because I do think I found myself getting lost in thought about individual characters, since again I'm not an expert on the characters. So when I met new characters in the story, I I think it may have taken away from the movie just a little bit, because you kept thinking about, them, and when you should be focusing on the movie. Of course, that's not everybody. Not everybody likes to be analytical like I am and keep thinking, but but yeah, those are a couple of things that I think, could have made it a little better. But that was kind of like Marvel. Marvel did that. We had several individual movies before we had the Avengers. And so it wasn't so much about meeting the Avengers as it was seeing them together. What is that like to see them together? So, so it kind of makes sense that DC did not do it that way, because that's kind of how Marvel did it. So, they're trying to be, they're obviously different. So, and I don't think it's really fair to compare Marvel and DC anyway. The superheroes are very different. The worlds are different. The villains are different. So, I'm a fan of both. I enjoy them both, because life is too short to pick favorites. Anyway, things that I loved about the movie. Alright, so the first thing I loved was the characters. I'm not going to give anything away, so I'm not going to mention all the characters and get specific with anything, but just seeing them together. I mean, if you've looked at any of the movie posters, just seeing them all there looking badass, that alone is just nice. It's nice to see, it's nice to hear, it's nice to see, just be a part of them interacting together. It's just cool. Especially, and they don't know each other, so when they're coming together, it's this awkward, balancing act, kind of. And to that note, I think that the script was written really well to highlight the individual roles, personalities, preferences, the way they communicate with each other. I think that it was done pretty well. And I liked it a lot too, because the Flash is a pretty humorous guy, and you get to see that come out, his attitudes about things and the way he talks and stuff. It's very entertaining. I will say that his personality is entertaining, and it's just really nice to see them all together, and the way that they bounce off of each other, especially by the end of the movie, seeing the way that they communicate all together. It's nice. So let's see. That brings us to the visuals. Now, like I mentioned, yes, it's true. There was quite a bit of, hold on, camera. There is quite a bit of CGI. And that's fair. There is a lot. Can't deny that. But it did make it pretty. So there's worlds and the way that things look on the movie. A lot of those things, particularly the way things look when things are getting heated. You look at it, and I've never seen anything like that before. And when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you look at it and you're just visually stunned, that's creative, super creative. So between the pros and the cons, obviously I really liked it, and obviously I can understand if you don't. If you are that overcritical about a movie, it's just there's no way to live. When I was in this April, I was in Orlando for Star Wars Celebration Orlando 2017, where I got to see Star Wars trailer for The Last Jedi before everyone else, and it was so cool. It was really cool. But I remember being in my hotel in a hot tub with a bunch of other people who were there, and they were just ridiculously nitpicky about everything. The trailer was awesome, and you just have people just tearing it apart. And this is canon, that's not canon, this is canon. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I would rather enjoy something. And I hope that maybe you saw this, and maybe you were on the fence about seeing the movie because of all of the negativity and the controversy and the smack talking. But I hope that if you watch this, you'll at least give it a chance. Go see it, and, maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. But at least give it a chance, because life is too short to be that critical. So let me know. Have you seen it? Are you hoping to see it? Are you trying to see it? Have you already seen it? Let me know in the comments below what you think about the movie, because I think we all need to be positive here. So I will see you guys again soon, and I hope you like it if you haven't seen it.